Now, welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
All right, we're going to talk a little bit about Donald Glover in the possibly upcoming Lando Calrissian movie.
Which didn't get canceled.
Didn't get canceled.
Was some confusion because the series got canceled and the guy who was doing the series talked about the canceled series and
Right.
everybody thought the whole thing was scrapped, and it's not.
It's not.
Supposedly.
I mean, it has been over 6 years since Donald Glover played Lando Calrissian. It's been about 4 years since Kathleen Kennedy announced the development of that live-action series that got canceled.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. It's been a minute, right?
It has been a minute, yes.
Yeah. Well, Donald Glover just did an interview with the Wall Street Journal. He says he aims to bring back the joyful adventures of space combat to counteract the saga's somber tone.
Okay. Which is ironic because we kind of talked about this thing yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah.
In reverse
So
bit.
that's why I wanted to talk about this today, because I thought this was very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, Glover talked about his biggest aspirations for his take on the character. What he said was, "I just want it to be fun. As a Star Wars fan myself, I think it's important that it needs to be fun. It's very hard to have fun right now. It's tough because there are very serious things happening, and those are the only things that connect us, weirdly. So I get why things are serious, but part of the human experience, I believe, is that we have a responsibility to have an enjoyment of life. And I think we're lacking that. Star Wars, I love it, but sometimes it can be super serious. Anything that has to do with the Skywalkers is so serious. Lando, I think the best part about him is that he's a scoundrel, and people can relate to that. He's probably man, this war is whack, I need money. Which I think people can relate to. I just want it to be fun."
That's a weird thing to say of Lando there at the end, but
Right.
I think that's more pre-rebellion Lando. Hey, I'm just going to do my thing. I'm going to make some money.
He was in the, puffer pig business for a little while in Rebels.
In Rebels, yeah.
Yes.
But he got very serious with Cloud City.
He did.
He was
cared for it. He took responsibility.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of strange sometimes that Lando gets portrayed Lando just doesn't care about it. I just live fast and loose and do whatever.
No, because
he became a very serious
changed.
character, yeah.
Yeah. I guess in the Lando series, he's playing Lando before then, right?
Sure, yeah.
Do we think we'll see Lando with his puffer pig business?
I hope so. I just want Lando, a puffer pig story.
I find a lot of what he said to be extremely odd.
Yeah.
Because as far as we know, this movie is not even in production. The script's probably not even written. He's been busy. He's been working on Mr. and Mrs. Smith and other stuff.
Yeah.
But he said that serious things are happening, and those are the things that connect us. Okay, but even though serious things are happening right now, how do you know what the tone of the world's going to be when this movie finally comes out? Is it going to come out in another 4 years? 6 years? We don't even know when this is going to come out.
Yeah, I would
imagine the
imagine...
tone of the world might be different then.
I would say about 2 months from now, the tone of the world is going to be interesting.
Well, and I find the whole thing funny, his comments. I'm going back to away from politics and onto Star Wars
absolutely,
politics.
Yeah.
I just want it to be fun. I think it's important that it needs to be fun. What is Skeleton Crew? Isn't that entirely going to be quote-unquote fun?
I think that's going to be the very epitome of fun. And you can look at, we didn't do the review of it, but, the Lego.
Rebuild the
just
Galaxy.
Fun. Feels a lot like what Skeleton Crew is, that first episode of it. It was I'm guessing that's going to be Skeleton Crew in a nutshell.
Found a lost Jedi temple. Yeah, you're going to do that in a couple months, too. We know.
I think there's this really weird perception of Star Wars that it's always just this fun, frivolous adventure some people have. We talked about it yesterday's video.
But he doesn't. He seems to think Star Wars is
too serious.
Too serious.
But no, you look back at all the Lucas movies, which is the foundation of Star Wars, right? Yes, A New Hope, pretty fun movie. But then you have The Empire Strikes Back, not such a fun movie. The Return of the Jedi, pretty serious movie as well. Yes, you got Ewoks and.
Hey, Ewoks weren't entirely jokes.
And then you go back to Phantom Menace, a pretty fun movie, but some pretty serious undertones. Then you got, Attack of the Clones with a war starting and Revenge of the Sith, where things really go. So it's not like Star Wars is always everything's just fun and frivolous and carefree. It's actually very heavy.
Well, look at even the Kenobi series. Where was the fun? That was a seriously, that was serious tone.
Just I guess. I think that just kind of missed everything.
Kenobi, yeah, I know, but...
Yeah.
So I don't understand this. I just want it to be fun.
Like, that's not...
It's good, but we still need to have a serious story. You can have a fun character, but still have a serious story.
Sure. And not all things Star Wars need to be the same or anything like that. But like I said, I think there's this weird... Every fan has a different take on what Star Wars is and should be, obviously. But there is this weird... I mean, weird isn't the right word, but there is this belief by many that it's just... Star Wars has always got to be just like this fun. It's really fun. It's always fun. And it's like, really? Is it? Has it traditionally been that? Or is it something a little mix between the two?
I feel like recently Star Wars, in a sense, has lost its way tonally.
Yeah.
Like, everyone who
identity.
comes in to do Star Wars has their own opinion of what Star Wars is. Star Wars is too serious. It needs to be fun. Star Wars is way too childish. It needs to grow up. There's a lot of varying opinions on what Star Wars is because the fan base is very varied.
It's so...
Honestly.
It depends on when you started watching it, too.
Right.
You may have, the first experience may be The Phantom Menace and you love Jar Jar and you're like, well, everything should have that little twinge of goofiness and fun. That's Star Wars to me. Or Empire Strikes Back may have been your first movie and you're like, wow, this is pretty dark and heavy. So, then there's, Legends and EU and
yes.
comics, books, games. I mean, you can come in at any point.
And it also speaks to what are you into nowadays?
Yeah.
Are you the fans that are into things like Dune, things like Game of Thrones, things with that heavy tone or atmosphere? Or are you looking for, I'm going to sit down and watch, comedies and fun stuff? It's not just what am I, what I believe Star Wars is. It's also what do I feel like watching today? What am I in the mood for?
What works now?
I feel like a lot of the audience right now, there's a big portion that is looking for more serious, maybe more adult type fun.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones ended. What happened? We're getting like 8 spin-offs, and people are excited about that because they liked being challenged that way.
Yeah, I think people like feeling like what they're watching is sophisticated because it makes them feel sophisticated. And I don't mean that like in a like, you think you're sophisticated. No, I think people like to be intellectually challenged.
Well, and it gives you
sometimes
something
they just want to turn their
talk
brain
about
off too.
With your friends.
Yeah, but look at something like Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, frivolous fun, but
yeah, sometimes that works. It's a multi-billion dollars.
But would that work for Lando, for Star Wars? It's hard to say without seeing a script.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Plus, we just talked about yesterday how we wanted Star Wars to take itself seriously.
Yeah.
Now, you can have, I want this to be fun, and still have a great underlying story. Can you do this?
It's hard to make Star Wars.
It's hard.
That is what has been discovered by many, I think, by current day Disney / Lucasfilm. I think they realize, it's not so easy to just slap Star Wars on something and everybody likes it.
Like I said yesterday, even Dave Filoni, who, he is a reverend, or he's revered by Star Wars fans, by a lot of them.
Some hate him, yeah.
Yeah, some hate him. He did a fantastic work in the animation field. Bringing him into live action has been more of a challenge because tonally things almost need to be different in a live action than they can be in animation. And by skipping some of the hard conversations, you drive people away.
You're cheating. Yeah, you're cheating yourself, too, because that makes the story interesting. You made your own story less interesting.
Your characters.
Yeah.
There needed to be a hard conversation between Ezra and Sabine. There needed to be a hard conversation between Sabine and Ahsoka. They just decided to skip all those things, and I feel, as an audience member, I feel cheated.
Yeah, because it's like, they just skipped over
They pick flash and substance over actual storytelling. Which they've gotten him on interview, even talked about how he likes the action, and he will go to that editing room floor and snip, 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 snip until he's got, here's roughly 30 minutes of excitement and action, and yeah, I think the story's still intact, but there's excitement and action. Because he thinks that that's what we want. I'm the TikTok crowd or whatever, and I just flick through things waiting for that 5 seconds of entertainment, and then I need another 5 seconds of entertainment. I don't. I need deeper than that.
Yeah, I think most people crave a little more than that.
We don't have attention spans that are literally 5 seconds long. My entire life isn't made up of YouTube shorts. It's an overall story.
Well put.
Thank you. That's my shtick. That's what I had. Sorry.
No, I think that's good.
I do want him to have a fun Star Wars. You can make a fun Star Wars, but I'm just worried when you emphasize on making things fun and go, things are too serious right now. I think we need to don't worry about the state of the world. Worry about writing something that is great for Star Wars.
What?
Because people go to movies to escape the state of the world. I don't need something that's going to be like a direct mockery of it or follow it precisely.
That's kind of his argument, though, is like people do go for an escape, and he's saying, well, we're just going to give you something fun. Yeah. But you still need something that you can sink your teeth into and enjoy and have a little meat on the bone.
And yes.
Well, I think that's going to be all we've got for you this time. Now it is your turn. Take to the comments below. Tell us what you make of Donald Glover's comments here. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you want fun Lando? You want a little more serious Lando? Whatever the case may be, leave a comment below. Let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.